Hi guys! Welcome back. My name is Rita. For those that don't know, I'm Rita from Rita's Treasures. And today I'm so excited. Today I am bringing you a gemstone chip tree. So to make your gemstone chip tree, you're going to need a few things, which is of course your gemstone chips that you'll be using. I'll be using amethyst. So these are amethyst right here. And then you'll also need your wire. I recommend using a 26 gauge wire. It can be any type of color. Usually like I recommend craft wire because it's softer. But if you're going to use like pure copper, use soft wire. And then the base. So my base is this artificial moss ball. This crystal tree is going to go into my Zen garden. This came with the kit, the toolkit for my Zen garden. And I don't like to throw things out. So I created this tree that will fit into this little base. So that's why it's so small. With that being said, the tree that I'm crafting today is going to be a maximum of 3 inches in height at its highest peak, coming out of the moss ball. So the measurements I'll be giving you today are for a 3-inch tree. If you want it bigger or smaller, you're going to have to adjust and use your creative ability. So anyways, super excited about this. Two other tools that you'll need to use are of course wire cutters. I use flush wire cutters to get more precision. And then I'm going to be using the round nose pliers, and that's just going to be poking the hole into my artificial moss. So you don't have to have these, you can use whatever you want. All right. So here is the tree that I'm going to be showing you guys how to make today, and just look at it. Isn't it just so gorgeous? Like you guys, I really love this tree. Anyways, yes, I made this or modeled this after a birch tree. So that's what the tutorial is for, to make kind of like a birch tree look alike. You can always use this tutorial technique to make other types of trees. There's so many trees out there. You can make like a pine tree I've seen. You can make like a cherry blossom type or sakura tree. Weeping willow. Weeping willow is another one that I'm going to be making, and it's going to be my own personal tree. I love weeping willows, so that would be another one I'll make. But I'm going to be using the same technique that I will be showing you guys in this video. But before I start, I wouldn't be me if I didn't give like a little segment of tips for making this tree. I think it's going to be pretty important. So if you want to hear these tips that I have, keep listening. If not, you can go to the timestamp down below in the description, and you can go ahead on and press the button or the segment where I go ahead and start the tutorial. So the first advice I'm going to be giving is that the type of wire that you use makes a difference. And I say that as in, there's all sorts of wires out there in the market. You have the artistic type of craft wire that you can just find at Joann's or Michael's, and then you have some other wires that you find online on Amazon. I mean, and face it, a lot of us are using Amazon, especially with the price of gas. I use Amazon. So with that in mind, I know it can be a little bit mind-boggling when you type in like your wire color that you want, and all these come up. So for this tutorial, you'll see that I am using the brand Artistic Wire. This can be found inside your Michael's and Joann's. I'm very familiar with this. I also make jewelry that I sell on Etsy and my blog website. If you're interested in checking out my jewelry, the links are down below in the description. But so I use this because it's a little bit tougher, and so it can hold up your designs a little bit better. For this tutorial for the tree, it made it a little bit harder to be able to do my little twist technique. And I don't know if you can tell, but you can see like my thumb is a little bit red and it looks a little bit agitated. That is because of the wire, because of all the twisting I had to do. So this is a little bit of a tougher wire. Now, this brand right here, Parawire, and you can find this online, you can find it on Amazon, you can find it just typing in Google. I'll also will link this brand down below in the description on Amazon. This wire is a lot softer. And if you noticed from the pictures in the beginning, I used this wire to make my other tree, the green tree. And I was able to make it a lot quicker and a lot easier. So I do recommend, if you are a beginner, an absolute noob with working with wire, or you just want to have a easier way out, try to get Parawire, because this is a lot more gentle on the same wavelength. I don't like using this type of wire for anything jewelry related because it's, like I said, it's delicate, it's a lot softer, it's a lot more malleable, and when you make jewelry, you don't want a brand of wire that's too soft. And this is too soft in my opinion for jewelry, but it's perfect for making this tree. So I do recommend this brand for this project and other type of like DIY projects that pertain to stuff like decorative things versus jewelry. So that's out the way. That is the biggest tip. Now for my second tip is to have a pair of pliers, and if you don't already, to try and invest in some nylon tipped pliers as well. So you don't, this is not completely necessary to have, it's completely optional. However, if you make a mistake, and I did make a mistake, one of my bead chips broke as I was twisting the wire. I kept it in the video so that you all can see what I had done and know that it's okay if you make a mistake. It happens. I make jewelry, I work with wire all the time, and things happen. I still have mistakes every now and then. So I kept that in the video so that you can see that, you know, we're all human here. Mistakes happen. But I do show you also in the video how to fix that type of mistake. And what I use to fix that mistake are these babies. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description for pliers in general if you don't have them. I do really recommend. There is a really nice set that you can get on Amazon that includes pliers, includes round nose pliers, and flush cutting wire cutters. So I'll include that in the description as well as the nylon tipped. And then on to my last tip here for you, for your consideration, is the size gemstone chip bead to use for this project. So, not all gemstone chips are the same. And in general, you typically see that gemstone chips are advertised as 5 to 8 millimeters in size. That is like the general standard. You have some that are bigger and you have some that are smaller. These right here are actually 3 to 5 millimeters in size. And personally, I like this size better in general for most of my projects. Oops, didn't mean for that to happen. But I generally like them to be a little bit finer and smaller. You'll find that even when you check out my store on Etsy or my website, ritastreasures.com, but you'll find that a lot of my projects for the jewelry, I tend to use finer gemstone chip beads if I use gemstone chip beads in it. So there are different sizes, and your size is really on your preference. The size of the gemstone does not matter. It does not diminish their properties or how strong they are if you're trying to utilize their energy. That does not matter, because each piece of gemstone, whether small or large, have the same amount of energy. So with that in mind, really it's all about preference. If you like them bigger in general, you like the bigger look, that is perfectly fine. I prefer the smaller 3 to 5 millimeter in size. So let's get started. And the first thing is measuring out the length of the wire. So I have 3 different lengths for the wire. I'm going to be doing 2 12-inch lengths, 3 11-inch, and 5 10 inches. All right, so I have all my lengths cut. Total, you should have 10 wires. And again, that's 5 10 inches, 3 11 inches, and 2 12 inches. I didn't mention in the beginning, but the type of tree that I am showing you how to make today is more so like a style of a birch tree. And so birch trees have like their highest peak and then kind of branches out a little bit. I'll actually be showing an image on the screen to show you what a birch tree looks like. So we're going to be doing a style like that. So you don't really need a whole bunch of long pieces, and yeah, that's the reason why I have like the different lengths and whatnot. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and do the longest. Each strand, you're going to want to do roughly about 3 to 4 gemstones per strand. And after you put your gemstone on, you're going to do like a twisting motion that you're going to see me in a second do. That's going to secure it in and also create the texture of the quote-unquote wood. So, let's get started with that. Oh yeah, the size gemstone beads that I am using for this project is 3 to 5 millimeters in size. I like the smaller, finer beads, especially for like this small tree. 5 to 8, I would recommend doing with like a bigger tree. But really, it's just all about preference. Next is to combine all of the pieces together to form your tree. And you're going to be using the same technique of the whole twisting motion to twist these branches together. So what I do is I tend to join together 2 to 3 branches at a time, and then eventually I'll just go ahead on and just keep adding them all together. So I'm going to show you that. Okay, and look at this tree. It's done, you guys. At least the tree part. And so I wanted to show, look at the texture. I absolutely love the texture. Because like when you look at a tree outside, depending on the tree, of course, well, every tree has texture. It has character. It has its fingerprint. And that's what I love about the technique that I am teaching you guys is that, you know, you know, the fingerprint of your tree. It's gonna always come out looking a little bit different. This tree does not look like the other tree that I have in the introduction that I showed you, the bronze one. So guys, I just love this. It's so pretty. So next step, after you combine it, get it to how you like. The next step is to put it into the base. So I have to create a hole to be able to put these bad boys all through. And actually, hold up, before I even do that, just want to show you the height of my tree. So actually my tree is it's going to be over, actually, yeah, my tree is going to be right at the 3-inch. I thought it was going to be a little bit over, but honestly, yeah, I don't know. So it's going to show from about here in the moss. So just about 3 inches from the tallest peak. So if you use, in my tutorial, I broke down how I figured out the lengths of the wire that I cut. If you take a look at that tutorial and you use that little mini quote-unquote formula, it's not really a formula, but it's just, you know, the steps I took. Follow that. If you want to make a bigger tree, if you want to make a tree smaller, you know, you'll be able to do that just fine with that. Anyways, the next part is I'm going to be making my hole in my artificial moss ball. So this is styrofoam, so it's going to be pretty easy to poke a hole. Some of you might recognize this Zen Garden. This is my personal one that I have used, and I showed it in my DIY tutorial of Zen Garden DIY. If you're interested in checking that out, the link is above at the top right corner of the screen, and you can check it out that way. So I'm going to put the tree over here, just like in the picture with the bronze tree. Just going to put it right on over here. So just kind of dig, because you want this to sit in the medium that you have, so I can hold it upright. And there you go. So this is it, you guys. This is my tutorial DIY for a gemstone tree. And it's a mini tree. It's roughly about 3 inches from the top of the moss to the very tippy top of the gemstone, roughly about 3 inches. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like my content, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post my next video. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.